like Chris Sutherland from Christopher Lake won that last heat on his Mercury. Mercury built snowmobiles up to, I believe, 1976, when the market said to Mercury Marine Corp, you should maybe not build any more snowmobiles. And as far as the 4 existing manufacturers go, they're lucky. Mercury built a very competitive sled, and it would have been interesting to see if the economy had been better, what they'd come up with nowadays. Trevor Froese is in lane 1 on a TXL. That's got the stars on it. That means it's a 77. Kevin LeQuay won that heat. That was close. LeQuay brothers run the local welding shop. Kevin and Trevor's son Wyatt. Here's young Asher, Rudy, watching his dad in lane 4. I can see his head is glued. There he goes. I think
46 lined up right now.
Heat 46. Kevin Hunter's son-in-law, Justin's driving the SRX in lane 1. There's Kelly Hunter driving one of Kevin's Exciters. Rob Bumphrey again in lane 1. Heat 48, Yamaha, Polaris, Kawasaki, and Polaris. Looks like the Kawasaki not doing as well as it could. Running off stock C heats yet. Big class, like I said. There goes Arlie again. Looks like we've had a malfunction at the junction. So heat 49, we've got Doug Wolf from Earl Grey down in lane 3 on a Skidoo RV. Got a sled broke down in the return lane, I think, by the looks of it. And the getting the toe of shame is Brody Vadimaniak. Brody has got himself an Exciter there, an 81 Exciter Yamaha. Very good 440 fan cooled engine. Doug Wolf finished second in his heat, so he goes to the A side. Now we move to 700 liquid mod. This is another one of the big loud mod classes. Gary Gibson's down there, and we think it's a moto ski. He calls it the Junkyard Dog. Sled 886 is in lane 1. That's a cut down skidoo. $700 liquid mod. Real close. So we got DJ Redaway in lane 3. It looks like a Merc, but it's actually a Centurion, 3-cylinder Polaris. Lane 2 is a Skidoo, that's a multi-cylinder sled. I can't see the number. It's okay. It's okay. Still running 700 liquid mod heats. There's Ken Reed from Warman, sled 134. He's got a nice Yamaha SRX with green flames on the hood. 998 must be Cam or Kevin Livingston. Pretty hard to beat them SRXs. Tim, I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name, had an 81 Kawasaki Invader over there, modded up. Number 777, we'll see how he did. Now we move to 250 liquid mod. We're going to see somebody we recognize here. Eunice Rudy is back on the track. She's down there in lane 3. Looks like Ben Benoit, my nephew-in-law, on sled 242, the little Citation 300. This is heat 55. So Cam was second. And Eunice is up to her old tricks. She hasn't forgot how to race. Very quick little 250cc Polaris. So 300 air-cooled mod. Again, it's a mod class, loud pipes. You can grind the cylinder ports, mill the heads, put on bigger carburetors, maybe some of that fancy VP race fuel, anything to make them go a little quicker. When you modify a sled, it doesn't seem to have the reliability, but everybody likes doing it. I think this is Barb Brochu, or Barb Carson, 581. She got a little 250 modded up. Yes, and Eunice won that easily, son. On the unicycle. Now we're down to Relic 800 stock. There's some rare birds in this one. Here's Trevor LaQuay on a GT 396 Yamaha, very early. Rick Antonio on his Northway, the green one. I think that's Rusty Watt down there on a Rolleiflex, lane 3, and one of the Redaways. And it's a dogfight. Barb won her heat. And this is, I think it's Janelle Harudko on 149 on the Skidoo just went by. Now we're at Stock A, tough class. Sled 34 in lane 1 is Scott Zarko, and that is actually my old Centurion. I sold it to him a few years back, and he made it the sled that it was probably meant to be. I had a lot of good times racing that, but Scott took it to the next level. I think that's my old sled. David Mills, I think he's down in Estevan or Weyburn working on 710. That's a Skidoo 9500. Heat 59. Kevin Hunter's in lane 1. Kevin worked at SaskTel for his career. Taught me everything I know and everything I forgot about SaskTel. Now he's farming. Scott won his heat. It's on the A side. David Mills on the A side. Who's on the Yamaha here? Can't see a number. Difficult when you can't see the number. Oh, Danny Sharon on sled 404. Danny is he fixes heavy trucks down in Strasbourg, down in that country, Bullier, Earl Grey, Saudi country. Stealing people's money. But Dan's got he's a good guy to tease a little bit. Still running Stock A heats. Stock A is a big class. Nice Kawasaki in lane 2. Kawasaki quit making snowmobiles about 1984. Heat number 60. Mark Suchak went by on a Centurion he built. It's got a different hood. Well, that's one of the Coopers on the Arctic Cat with the tack up top. And we got a sled down in lane 1 at the finish line there. So there goes Arlie. with the tow sled. He'll clear the track. So heat 61 is up. We've got an interesting situation here. We got 3 Polarises. Lane 1 is John Rudy, and John is quite proudly driving Big Jim's old Centurion. Big Jim did well on that sled. He always won a prize, and even won this class many times. So John has dusted it off in his dad's absence, and he's going to take a run. It's like a close race. I can't tell from down here. You tell me. Clayton Horlick, sorry Clayton, from Sheeho was down there on that Centurion in lane 4. Looks like he's running well. Stock A heat's coming up. That's Jerry Zarco down there on the nice black Arctic Cat, lane 4. Rob Bumfrey on his newly restored Centurion Indy with the independent front skis on it. GPX here, I can't tell who it is. He could give these guys a run. There goes John, he's second. He's still alive. .440 Air Mod. These are air-cooled sleds that are souped up. I'm sure that's Perry Frisky's sled in lane 2. There's old Ray Ferdine down there in lane 4. He's got an air-cooled Yamaha with a SS 440 hood. He's fast with that thing. Looks like gotta see who's in lane 1. That's sled 123. Easy number to remember. Emily Prolodov. Sorry, Emily, I butchered that. 1980 Polaris TX 340. She's out racing. We got girls everywhere. In lane 2 here coming up, that's our friend Trevor McLean. He raced around here years ago, but he works in the construction industry in Florida. Up here visiting family. .440 Air Mod. Trevor's running a 340. Looks like Perry's Fred, this Arctic Cat, won that last heat. Not sure who's driving it for him. Ray was 4th. That's a rare thing, but he'll be back. And we got the nice blue Thunderjet of Boxalls over there. That's Brennan. Tim Rudy's next to him. Sled 547, Tim Rudy. Tim is in the plumbing and heating industry. He goes away and works on big projects, schools and such around the province.
Here comes Mom.
And we got a delay in the action. Arlie's taking the tow sled down to save somebody. Carol Rudy's waving at us as she goes by. That's Carol. Her kids are right outside the truck here. I think Grandma is looking after him a little bit. And lane 2, and this heat is Kurt Boxall, on sled 268. It's a PDC clone, or Professional Driver Circuit clone hood on it. He's had some trouble with that sled lately, but it's good to see him back out running. Brody Vanamaniak in lane 1. Now we're down to the 440 air mods are done, and we're going to run some Relic one-lung stalkers. Now Kelly Palladar is lining them up, and the track is getting a bit mounded up, a little bit lumpy, so he's letting them roll off the hump. We're not too fussy. The ski tips don't have to be perfectly aligned at the start line. It speeds the race up considerably. It looks like Kurt won that heat. Now that is one old skidoo in lane 1. Relic one long stock. Nice old Arctic Cat Lynx coming up here. That's a nice one. The old Snowjet Astrojet. My dad bought us one of those in 1974. It was tilted up against the wall at Hatton Service down at Silton, Saskatchewan. We drove that thing thousands of miles. I think the second or third year I started it up, took it to town and didn't get there. The mice had built a nest in the fan housing and it got a little hot. Of course I didn't know. I'd call Arctic Cat Lynx and that, but that's not over till it's over. Relic one lung stock. Anything 1973 and earlier. Good to see these old sleds coming out. Stock E. E is 340 fan-cooled sleds. Here's DJ Redaway in lane 1. Looks like one of the Carson skidoos in lane 3. Tyla Gibson, my niece from Earl Grey, down there with her dad in the orange helmet in lane 4. Tyla knows how to race. Tyla's pretty anxious. She gets to go to Ireland and Scotland here in April on one of them school trips. I told her last night that she's definitely going to need a uncle for a chaperone. But what happens in the British Isles stays in the British Isles, right? So we're running stock E here. Here's Barb Brochu, or Barb Carson in lane 2, and that's Corey Radish's son down there in that nice new looking number 68 trail twister. Now, Corey has raced for years. He's from Flin Flon. And I'll just check the son's name there. He's a new racer. Just turned 12 or 10. We do have age restrictions on what you can race. It'll be old enough to handle it. Michael Radish. Looks like DJ Redaway won that last heat. Oh, here comes 338. That's another sled I owned at one time. That's what we used to call Earl. So we'll see how Michael does. Probably first race ever. Barb's raced a lot.
E70 just went.
Thank you.
On heat 71. This is stocky. It's pretty tough class. But we've got some Mercury trail twisters here. We got a nice, oh, there's an Arctic Cat Trail Cat. That could be Joanne Victor driving that. I'm not sure who's registered on that, but The very striking black and green paint scheme, and that's Arctic Cats among their first independent front suspension sleds. 912 could be Grant Clausen down there in the 340 STX. So, and Robert Lamontagne's son in lane 1 here. I recognize that sled too. So Michael Radish won his heat, and knowing the way Corey and Michael can prep sleds, I'm not surprised. Barb's second. They're both on the A side. Sled 338 will be on the B. We'll see all these guys again and again and again. Probably still stock E heats. Looks like Angie Harudko on 341. That's a nice Skidoo TNT. 1 Skidoo and 2 Yamahas coming up. Looks like Robert Lamontagne's son won on 623. He's A side. Yeah, Grant Clausen on sled 912. That's an STX 340. Very nice Yamaha. Now we're moving up to some mods. I can hear Eunice coming. Eunice is the administrator for the arm of Nipawin and Village of Cadet. And she's been doing that for a long time. Her capable hands. 300 air-cooled mod. This is her class. Looks like Ben Benoit down there in lane 4. Ben is running better, but not enough to catch Eunice. That was heat 73. Heat 74 is coming up. There'll be another Rudy in this one too. I gotta see who's driving sled 322. We often get sleds registered in the owner's name, but he's got different drivers. Usually because he's too fat or too busy. But that's Sam Schneider. Sam Schneider on sled 322. And here comes Eunice. She won her class, won her heat. She's on the A side. And her son John, sled 513. So the mother beat the son. Ben's on the B side, but he'll win a trophy. We have 28 different classes, and we give away first in the A and first in the B and second A, B side, so there's 4 trophies per class. Lots of prizes. Pat Butt down at E Butt Jewelry did our engraving and supplied the trophies this year for us.